feelings on. Better be careful what your radio on. You let down your hair when you're feeling sexy. You bite on your lip when you're holding your tongue. You uncross your legs, yeah, without even speaking. Your body is screaming. You wanna make love. I can hear your body language. You ain't said I run, but I know what you feel. 'Cause I can hear your body language. Say, come on, it's on, it's on. The message is clear. Let me pause, babe. You look so good. To gather my thoughts, make sure I'm hearing you right. Baby, slow my baby. If I am.
Hey, good afternoon. What's in it for the Black People Media? This is Middays with Mikko, sitting in with Miss Mary Q and Ron Rilla. I hate to start this out on a somber note, but here's a quick traffic update in the midday. 300 South Lakeshore Drive. There is a small child that has been shot. We don't know if it's in the head or in the face in traffic near Grant Park on Balboa. So you probably should avoid that at all costs. There is a lot of police activity. I actually just passed there. So I didn't see what happened firsthand, but I was around for the actual aftermath of it. I believe it was happening in real time. So that's happening. And this whole Lakeshore Drive expressway shooting thing is a little crazy. So just, be aware, be conscious, be alert. Like I said, there are no other details because it is a minor, but this did happen at 300 South Lakeshore Drive. So be aware, be alert, avoid traffic if you can. On that note, good afternoon, Mary. Good afternoon, Ron Rilla.
Hey, Mikko, how you doing?
I'm good. Did everybody have a happy Easter? We enjoyed a little bit of Easter. So we're just going to jump into a few things today. Taking over for the midday. I don't know. That kind of messed me up a little bit because, one, there was that. I mean, it's so wild how, these are kids. And it's very scary in the middle of the afternoon or even in the morning to just be riding around. It's a beautiful day outside, and this is happening in the middle, not even just downtown, but it's happening, period. It's a very scary place to be right now, especially as the weather warms up. It's already been, this is like 78, 81 degrees today, and it's like, this is what you wake up to. So it's
high 80?
It's high 80 today, and well, they outside already. Let's just say that. So it's a very scary thing. So just be very careful and cognizant of your surroundings and where you are, even if you're downtown, because it's obvious that this stuff is happening everywhere. So that just kind of threw me for a loop this morning, but let's just send up prayers for the young child that was involved in that and anybody else who was involved in that. So that, and also, this is first of all, I walked into the studio with the Book of Dawn, and I had turned it off for just a little bit, but we all know that she had Mike Tyson on there. Oh, okay. We had Mike Tyson on there, and I looked up, and there was like a shirtless Mike Tyson. So I don't know how do you follow a shirtless Mike Tyson on a good Tuesday morning?
Like you follow any shirtless.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. What is going on at the Book of Dawn today? Well, no, that was a very good interview. Today we wanted to talk about something a little more light as well. We were having this discussion as friends last night about dating and how COVID has affected that maybe in the long term, how it's social media has affected chivalry and all these things, and like how certain people at this point have, a sense of entitlement as it comes to dating because things have changed. And so so what I usually do, just so you guys know, is when I think of a topic, I pose it to Facebook, and I get the opinions of those who kind of actually live this dating life and this single life. And some of the opinions were very interesting, mainly that social media and the pandemic has made us very lazy when it comes to dating and how we have restructured chivalry and how it just doesn't matter anymore. What do you think about that?
It's in the inbox.
It's in the inbox. Oh, yes, honey.
It's
the DMs,
in the inbox.
listen.
The DMs, it's like a whole nature of dating just in the DMs. Like, how do you get away with trying to, like, you can date through DMs. It feels that way.
It's really wild because I have a friend who, her DMs are, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, but I don't necessarily get the DM stuff, right? So it doesn't happen to me, and I'm confused because I'm like,
before I understood the whole DM culture and that it even goes down in the DM, I was like clueless and what the freak. Like, I just got hip to maybe I need to watch how I treat DMs.
I mean, it really goes down in the DMs. And so, the idea of that was, we respond to these things and we can't really have, face-to-face interaction, right?
What is allowed in a DM?
I mean, I don't know what's allowed in anybody else's DMs, but I have seen some things come out of some DMs where I'm like, I don't know that this should be allowed at all, right? So I have seen some things, Mary, in the DMs.
What have you seen?
I have seen, we call it D-mail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've seen some D-mail. If you don't know what D-mail is, it does not stand for DMs. It stands for, penis pics. I've seen it all in the DMs. I've seen Grand Rising, Beautiful Morning, Queen of the Earth and the Solstice. How may I?
Why is that a whole language now? I think that's being abused a little bit.
I think it's being way past abused. And it's like, you could just say hello sometimes. I mean, it's kind of that thing like we're asking for shit, but is it going too far when solstice of the universe, I would love to be a part of your nature. Like, sir, it's 9 a.m. I haven't even gotten up to pee yet. What do you mean you want to be a part of my nature?
Have you experienced the phone calls yet?
What do you mean, Mary?
Look, I don't know. Look, I'm by no means well versed in this area, but I think I was completely thrown off when someone was like, "Okay, I'm calling you." And I was like, what?
Oh, you mean like unsolicited messenger phone calls?
Like Facebook call you.
Oh, yeah, I've gotten that. Well, they can't call me on Facebook because my number on Facebook is 777-9311. And it has been that way for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, no, ain't no calling me on Facebook. Ain't no calling. You can video me, but you're not calling nobody. Facebook can't even call me unless they want to, talk to Prince. But other than that, no, yeah, I've seen some things. And so, a lot of it is interesting because it's like it's the only way to communicate on some level. He said by accident. Somebody just said they sent some D-mail to somebody on accident. I would like to know.
It wasn't by accident.
I would like to know how you accidentally sent a picture of your luxuriousness to a human. How do you accidentally send a picture of your D?
It's its own purpose all the time.
I just don't understand. Like, first of all, that's a whole nother subject that I really want to get on because, I don't know how you even bring yourself to be like, yeah, I thought she was cute, so I'm going to send her a picture of my homie, and she going to like me, and we going to go out, and we going to have some fun. I don't really know how that works. The topic is, though, like, has social media and like, especially in the pandemic, like has it made like dating like a lazy situation for people?
Explain dating.
Dating means
what does dating involve?
So I realize that people have different definitions of dating, right?
Yeah,
so
I don't date.
On the ground floor,
I don't.
On the ground floor, and I'm kind of new to it, I guess, but like on the ground floor, dating is enjoying somebody's company, going out to dinner or going to do something fun or, just doing like different activities with a person that you're trying to get to know.
Why does
right?
that can't just be hanging out? That just can't be like.
I mean, but if you have intentions on getting to know somebody, we've always been taught date with purpose, and that's fine. But like, that's what dating is to me.
Okay.
Like, so what? so the idea of that is, where do we go now that we can't, we can go back outside now, but before, we weren't even really allowed to be outside. So you got DMs popping over here. You got, and some of it's very obnoxious. Like, I know the vast majority of my friends, like, we get these messages. Listen, cheat code, fellows, men, humans. Stop grand rising beautiful solstice and the queens in the DMs. It's annoying, right? I know that it puts you in your mind on a different level of intellect, but it does not, right? If you are, just say good morning, how are you? If you think a girl is pretty, tell her that. But every single day you're in somebody's DMs with this mess and they're not responding, that's probably why. So this is it. Like, I feel like, I don't know that it's become lazy or just more complicated because you don't know who you're talking to. You can't see them. You can't feel like real energy, and you see a picture of somebody or you go through their page, because we've all done it, right? Somebody DMs you all in their business because you're trying to figure it out, right? Like, who is this person? And then on paper, they look amazing. And then they send you the D-mail.
What?
I'm just saying, it's the turnoff of all turnoffs. That's all.
So what should they send if it's not a D-mail?
I don't think you should be sending anything until you get to know somebody, and there is nothing that can do for a woman at all.
How long before the D-mail? I'm
playing
a game right now.
D-mail at all.
I'm just asking questions here.
I don't think that
it's necessary.
I don't think that it's necessary.
Okay.
I don't think that, if you're trying to get to know somebody, especially in these type of times, we shouldn't be sending out dick pics.
So what would you prefer? Like, straight up, right now, dating, what would you prefer?
I would prefer to see somebody. Like, I literally put on Facebook one time, I was like, I will be glad when we can actually go outside and really interact and meet people again. Mm-hmm. Because the rest of it to me is just kind of ridiculous. Like, I'm just not the type of person that's going to try to get to know somebody through the internet. I tried that once. It didn't really work.
Why?
It was weird.
Why?
It was weird. But I also, I'm not an online, I don't get into online dating and, all of that. Like, that's just not my thing, right? So imagine it being, maybe 1 or 2 degrees of separation, and, you get these unsolicited messages, and now you got to go find them or find a friend that knows that, it's too much. It's just, it's an odd way of getting to know somebody, to me. But that's just me. Because you don't date, right?
No.
You just hang out.
No, I just do. You know what? I think that dating has so many twists and turns and expectations. It's like there's so much that comes with dating that is so false. When I hear people talk about dating, it's just like, okay, so this is a math problem. This is a game. Why are we playing games with each other?
And
I think it's disrespectful to play games with each other.
And I think that's the part. I think the part is, you're supposed to be dating with intention, right? And a lot of people are just not doing that right now. And I think that...
And what's dating with intention?
I mean, I don't feel like you should be dating without the intention of wanting to be in a relationship or getting to know somebody, right? Like, we all know serial daters. I don't know if you do. Somewhere along the line, we've all had a friend that just, I had a friend, she would go out every night of the week, to dinner.
You know why
maybe
she did
somebody
that, though?
different.
Do you know why she did it?
She was looking for something different. I know that for a fact.
What
she wasn't dating with intention. She had different intentions, but it was like...
Was she looking to get something from out of them?
I believe so. And so, but it's like, my brain can't keep up with that many people's names on a regular basis. So, you talking to your girlfriend on the phone, and I'm like, which one was this? Was this Tuesday? Like, but she dated. She just
So
went out
she was
and dated, and that's what her
she
thing
was
was. She called
dating-
herself a serial dater.
So she was dating with the intention to get something from these guys.
I guess whether it was dinner or
There was a motive. Okay, so
I don't know. Whatever her motivation was, like she was very honest about it. You know,
with the guys.
oh yeah. Well, no, I think just with us. I don't know that she, you know, Tucson said she was looking to get fed, and I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
But that was her intention. Like, so it's like for me,
So-
my intentions are very different. Like if I'm really in a space where I'm spending time with somebody, I'm doing it with a purpose, not just.
So would you say that it's fair that you're always getting to know someone with a purpose? Do you think
I
that
try,
that's
but I also don't date a ton. So it's not like I'm just out here dating. Like if I'm in a space where I'm like, oh, I'm dating, it's because I'm really trying to get to know somebody. So that's my intention. Like
what is supposed to be the end game of your dating
for me,
for you? Yep.
relationships.
What
or
what kind of
marriage.
relationship?
All of
Like
that.
for real, like what kind of relationship?
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't really necessarily bother.
So is the specific relationship that you are to get out of dating is marriage?
I think for me it is. I mean, getting
Okay.
to know somebody, you want to like
'Cause
be
you
able to
can-
build with somebody. I guess my definition of dating is building with somebody.
So you can build with someone and not marry them, right? Would you say that's true?
I mean, if that's your preference. But if I'm
what-
taking the time out to, with all the things going on, if I'm taking the time out to really truly build a base and a foundation with somebody, the intention is to get married.
so this is all marriage for you. This is all marriage for you.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, I'm not saying that it's wrong or that it's right. It's just that when people talk about dating, it's like, okay, so you're dating because the end game of dating is marriage.
yeah, I think for me, it's dating with intention of doing so or getting to know
Of
somebody
getting
and building
married.
a future with somebody. Yeah, for sure.
Why are you saying? Oh,
What?
I'm gonna get up out your business.
Why am I saying what?
Because you're not saying marriage per se. You saying building with. Do you believe in marriage?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have to build something to get there. And that's what I mean by building something. Like I don't
Do you have to build before
Yeah.
or after marriage?
before.
So what does that look like?
To me,
Yeah,
does
building
it look
before
like to me?
marriage, especially if you're
Honestly-
dating. So you're dating for 3 months, you're dating for 4 months. Are you now starting to build something?
yeah, I believe so. I believe if you're spending that much time with somebody, you're
What are
in
you
the process
building in
of
4 months?
getting to know each other, kinship, friendship, like all of that stuff.
I'm thinking
and all
you
of
talking
it
about
is
a building. I'm thinking you talking about
see Mary
organization. I'm
talking
thinking you
about
talking-
Mary think I'm talking about. So we had this conversation earlier. We were talking about the accident, and Mary says she sees things in pictures. And what did you say? Sound and pictures, and she just pieces it all
always
together in
a
her
show.
head like a puzzle, right? So I'm talking about building a foundation, and Mary think I'm talking about an actual building.
Oh, I'm thinking you talking about like an organization. Like what is building before? What is
Somebody
building?
come get married. I'm talking about getting to know somebody. And Janessa, you're right. 4 months, you're still getting to know somebody's representative. And so that's what I mean by getting to know somebody and building on that. It does take some time, but I feel like if you're invested in that and you're investing the time in that, it should lead to the place where you become one. And that's dating with a purpose to me.
What do you do with the folks that don't make it? Like, if dating is solely for marriage, and let's say that you have a great relationship, you've built a great foundation, and you decide that this is not someone that you per se want to marry, what happens to that great relationship?
Then was it that great?
Possibly, but not for marriage.
Then what's the point?
Do you not have friends that are male friends that are great friends, and
course.
you don't need? There's no need of marrying them, right?
Yeah, but that's different. Like my
How?
platonic friends are strictly platonic friends. If you've gotten yourself into a space where you're building and doing other stuff like that, you've obviously crossed a different boundary. And so that's very different. That is a very different thing. Like, and that's what I mean about intention. So
And did you have to date to get to that platonic relationship?
no.
Did the platonic relationship come out of dating?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. I've never dated one of my platonic friends, which is a whole nother topic because I think that people believe you really cannot have male-female dynamics, and let them be platonic friendships. And I think that you can because I've had them my whole life.
Someone in here says marriage is a trap.
It probably was two signs.
What do you think about that?
Is marriage a trap? I don't know. I guess it's your perspective.
If marriage is a trap, then dating is a trap.
Then it's all a trap. So we just in the trap.
No, we ain't. Not I said the Mary.
Mary says she not in the trap because she
Not
ain't
I.
doing no dating. You are funny. But no, I don't think that marriage is a trap. I think that that's a matter of perspective and what your experiences have been. And we talk about experiences a lot here. And so it's like, you know, if marriage is a trap to you and you don't want to be trapped, then just don't do it. How about that? But when I say, you know, when I go out and I try to date with a purpose, you know, that's what my goal is. You know, but I think that in this day and age, I just really think that social media has made people very lazy when it comes to getting to know somebody for real. Like, I really, really believe that. And I mean, like you said, the DMs, you know, and I guess we can't really go. Like, there's a guy that I know, and he's like, oh, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know you, right? This is different. Let's get to know each other. Okay. Come over to my house.
What's wrong with that?
I'm not going over here. I don't know this man like that.
Oh, no, you don't. You can't do that.
You don't just, but I think that what this pandemic has done has been like, yeah, no, we can't go outside, so you could just come over. I'm not coming over. Like, we're not doing that. Right? So then you have to delete that part. It's like, we could talk on the phone, that's fine or whatever, right? So then we can go out, we will go out. So you have that part. But all of it to me is a wash right now, because it's like, I would rather be outside and get to know people, like actually have communication, sit down, coffee, whatever that is, versus like having a conversation with a person that you hardly ever see, or you FaceTime or you Duo or whatever that is, social media and all of that, because you don't know who the heck people are on social media.
This is true.
At all.
This is true.
At all.
You can be a whole imposter.
A whole imposter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know what you look like and we know what you sound like, but you could be a whole murderer. We don't know.
This is true.
We don't know. And so, like, that's, you know, the funny story with me with online dating. I'm like, because I ain't trying to die. I don't know these people. I'm not trying to meet it's plenty of people on earth that I can have face-to-face contact with that doesn't, you know, align with me meeting them on a dating app.
So where do you expect to meet someone that you feel like you can spend the rest of your life with? Because when I think, so the thing about online is that it's all over the place, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can connect all over the world. But now, you know, how people used to do, like usually it's like somebody that's a friend of the family.
Yeah, of course.
Like at work or like, so what are you expecting? It's like within your...
It's always that. And I agree with that. Like, you know, I tell people that all the time. Like, a lot of times we end up dating inside of our environments because that's where we are the most, right? That's where people are the most, you know, common to you. That's where people, you know, are the most kindred to you inside of your, whatever that is, your network or, you know, any of that stuff. So yeah, it's easier to do that, or with the 1 or 2 degrees of separation where, you know, somebody has a reference. But even then, you know, you have this thing where like somebody has a reference. Let's say it's your friend or whatever, and I, you know, date your friend, but your friend and I have different conversations than you do. So it's still that small layer of like, there are 2 different levels of what the conversation is. So you still have to be, you know, kind of very careful on even that. But yeah, most of the time, you know,
how careful,
people date in their environment.
How careful is careful?
I think everybody should just be careful.
But what is careful? How pay careful attention, is careful? And
pay
what
attention
are you paying attention
it depends on what your preferences are, right? So
this sounds so calculated.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't think that it does.
This doesn't sound like going with the flow.
I don't know that I'm a flower.
You know what? It's not even so much as a flower. It's more like, okay, so even the wind, when it blows in a direction.
Correct.
Right? I want to say that again. Even when the wind blows, it blows in a direction.
But it's
I think that if you still, no, it's still able to move and be flexible, because if you go into something where all of your boxes, you got to check all of these boxes.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about boxes. Like it's not
like the spontaneity. What happens with that?
I don't look at people like, oh yeah, let me check. Yeah, that. that. I'm not that person.
Okay.
I'm a hugely spontaneous person.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But if I'm going into that and we get to the point where it's full steam, then yes, my intentions are what they are. So there is go with the flow, and that's like the first, however long it takes, right? You're going with the flow and you're getting to know somebody, and it's fun and it's free flowing and it's easy. Like, I'm really just one of those people naturally, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't like the flex being put on me, so I'm not gonna put the flex on nobody else. But in that vein, I still want to be able to get to know somebody with the intentions of actually dating. You should see Mary's face. She's trying not to be on this camera.
What's the flex?
What's the flex?
I don't like people to flex on me, so I'm not going to flex on. What's the flex?
You know what the flex is, Mary.
No, I don't. I live in a different world.
Which world do you live in?
In the Mary's world. We lit over here.
We lit over here.
What's the
I'm going to
flex?
get to know Mary's world because I need to know what's going on in Mary's world. She's talking about we lit over here. No, the flex is very simple, right? Like, you can't put yourself in a situation where early on there's a list of demands that people expect from you based off of what they've either seen or what they've had or whatever that is. That to me is like, it really does takes the fun out of getting to know somebody, right? So whether I'm checking the boxes or somebody else is like somebody is, methodically thinking about this, and when they don't get that, then it's like this is what I would this and this. And it's like, hey, take it easy. We're just finding a space, right? Because guess where you live? You live in Mary's space, and I live in Mikko's, right?
Right.
All the time. So that's like, it's like I don't want that happening to me, so I wouldn't do it to somebody else.
Gotcha.
I don't need a list of demands put on me early.
Got you.
Like, this is what I fit, because I've been in that relationship before, right? It's
That
like
makes sense.
It's fun and it's free flowing, and then all of a sudden, you're like, wait, what? Like, you don't want me to do, but that's where we met. Like, and so it's those little things that early on, I think that it should be like a moot point. Because you're really trying to be in a space of getting to know somebody for themselves and them getting to know you for yourself, not based off what your experience were outside of that one person.
The other person.
Or
persons.
Or people that you have been gallivanting with that were not me.
Do you think that there is value in having time between relationships? Downtime?
Yes. Absolutely, because for whatever reason these things end on either end, there should be healing done, so that you're in the right space. Because I feel like what happens, and this is just my opinion, is that you do take some of that stuff with you, carry it, right? You carry it and you bury it, but then something happens and it triggers it, and so now you have this in your new situation when you really didn't heal properly from the last.
Yeah,
and I just think
chaos.
that's unfair. It does, and I think it's unfair to the next person because they don't know what unless you tell them like specifically, implicitly about your past. They have no idea, and then you just it's one thing. It's like that healing comes from a place that you can only deal with, right? Like you should never walk into another situation expecting somebody else to heal you.
Right. Now, do you think it's fair for someone to know various things right up front?
I think that's a matter of like how open you are. I don't think that you should traumatize a person with all your stuff.
If you don't traumatize them now, won't you traumatize them later?
Well, no. I think that there is conversations. She is out of control today. It's Mary Taco Tuesday or something. She ready to go. No. I don't think it's. I mean, if you're having adult conversations about stuff, I don't think it's traumatizing. I think, but if you do not take the time to heal from that, of course, it can be traumatizing because it generally then comes out because it's triggered in some way, as opposed to having real conversations. I don't think you should walk into a weekend, like a week into it, and you're like, yeah, so let me tell you all the crazy stuff that has happened in my, like, no, I don't think that that's fair and balanced at all, right? Because then I'm sitting there and I'm like, All
Well,
right.
are you not thankful that you got it all up front?
I am. Then it helps me to make an accurate decision or ask some questions.
But
right?
did you hear that? Like it
But
helps
I don't
you
need to know
make
that.
accurate.
I don't need to know that on the first date. Or
You don't want to
third.
be accurate on the first. You
I
want
just
the
wanna
imposter to
listen.
show themselves for a little while.
They gonna do that anyway.
Okay.
They gonna do that anyway, right? Somebody in the comments said it takes 4 months for something about the imposter to wear off or something like that. Yeah, it's accurate, right? But I don't think that walking into a situation and you don't really know what the other person's intentions are, like you got to walk in and just tell all your stuff.
Is this dating? This is dating.
I guess.
That's why I don't do this shit. That's why I don't do. That's too much.
I mean, you brought up the taking a break, right? I think taking a break is healthy. I think it helps you to have healthier conversations when you're trying to get to know somebody else. I think if you get into a space and you're like, yeah, so I'm gonna take you out, but I'm gonna tell you how, how you tell you all this other stuff. I don't know.
That mean like take a quick break.
I know what that means. I got it. Baseball guy. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick. Book of Dawn is giving me baseball signals. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Middays with Mikko, with Mary Q, and Ron Rilla. And Book of Dawn is still here. Still don't know how I'm going to get over Naked Mike, but okay.
WITBPM. My name is Cassandra J. Matz, current Village of Olympia Fields trustee and your candidate for Village President of Olympia Fields. I've been a resident of Olympia Fields for 28 years. I believe in building strategic partnerships, establishing governance boundaries, and have and will continue to dedicate my life's work as a respected and credible voice when it comes to decision making. Olympia Fields has always been a community of familiarity and comfort, and I want to make sure the village stays that way. On Tuesday, April 6th, vote Cassandra J. Matz for your Olympia Fields Village President. Pay for
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
You better be careful, baby, be careful. This is a baby making tone. Better be careful what your radio on. This is a baby making tone. Better be careful what your radio on. You let down your hair when you're feeling sexy. You bite on your lip when you're holding your tongue. You uncross your legs, yeah, without even speaking. Your body is screaming. You wanna make love. I can hear your body language.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Middays with Mikko. LaRon is in there, and he in the whole concert. He had everything but a torch lighter. Everything but a torch lighter. Listen, I was getting ready to take my good sweater off. It's 80 degrees outside. It is beautiful. And it was like Africa in here. And at first I thought it was because Mary was putting me in the hot seat. Then I realized it was actually just hot.
Just hot.
It was just hot. What about you, Ron? You think that social media has made people lazy when it comes to dating?
About as lazy as we already was.
Oh, interesting.
We was already lazy.
Lazy like all of us or lazy like men?
Lazy like all of us.
What? You think romance is dead?
I think just millennials, period. Yeah, like we lost it.
Because you want to lose it.
But no, he made a good point. Like, and I'm very curious as to why,
when
though.
I say we, I'm never just talking about myself. I'm speaking about the general collective.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how that happened, right? Because it's like
Lack of self-love, self-worth, and knowing who you are.
I'm being triggered. I was here last week.
But I'm just saying that's what happened.
No, and it is. I think that it just
Folks don't know
social media
themselves.
just made it. We see a lot of crap on social media, right? So
I think people are using that as an excuse now.
yeah, like I just
Folks are not asking questions.
they're not
and
asking
understanding
questions.
themselves.
Yeah, I think it comes from a place of not like we talked about earlier, healing and not understanding yourself.
You got to.
It's just
You wouldn't even pass yourself before a lot of people if you understood your self-worth and self-value. You wouldn't even attract trash. You only going to attract what's inside of you. And that's not to say that, what's inside of you is trash, but it's like we're living in the world with these blinders on, right?
Absolutely.
We're being spoon-fed so much BS. You're
Yeah.
walking around a whole computer program. Like you are programmed to think, to act, to speak, to move in a certain way.
Correct.
You are programmed to like specific things and
Yep.
specific people. This is programming. And if you don't ask questions to interrupt that programming, you're going to get what you're going to get.
Well, and I think it's also, so this is like a whole like self-healing thing, right? If you are attracting certain things, you really have to step back and take accountability for yourself and ask why you're attracting certain things. I'm a firm believer in that. And so I've had to do it to myself where it was like, okay, wait a minute, like, you had a good run, and then this happens. It's like, what are you doing in your life that's different, that's causing you to attract certain things in these moments? And you really have to sit down with yourself and take accountability for that.
It's all about accountability.
Because and I think that's the word too, like we're not taking a whole lot of accountability. Men and women, Toussaint, we're just not taking a lot of accountability for what our lack is or, our specific needs to ourselves.
Yeah, really
And
understanding
it starts
what you need.
there. It really does start with understanding what you need. I don't know. Like it just really starts there.
And knowing why you are making the moves that you are making.
And that's what I mean
And
about
being
accountability.
honest about that.
And that's what I mean. Like, how did you get here where you're in this space and you don't want to be, right? What are you attracting or what are you doing to attract this type of energy? And then you have to go and figure that out and fix your energy. And that's just really how I feel about that.
It's your own energy that you're
It really,
attracting.
really is. It really, really
energy.
is. So, it's not 100% like, you could be kind and like all this stuff, but then you really have to take that small inner part. It's like if I did all this and I'm like super kind and all this other stuff and and then it turns into this, it's still something in you that's like giving to that. You know what I mean? So it really is, I think, being able to kind of hone in on what your energy is and what you're giving out, because that's kind of what you're gonna receive in the long run. That's just how I feel about that. How do you feel about that, Mary?
That's
I don't do this
exactly
dating.
you have to know yourself.
You really do.
You have to know yourself. Now, whereas relationships will definitely clue you into more of who you are, you got to have a base. You have to have a base. Now, a lot of people are not able to have a base up front. Like some people come from love. Some people come from like a religious background that gives people a solid base sometimes. It's like we just out here being sloppy with people.
100%.
Like we were
Careless.
talking about the other day on the Keeping It Realer. We were talking about it the other day about ghosting. There's a whole ghosting and counseling culture, and I don't get it because it's like, how are we even becoming better people
I think I
from
got
not
ghosted, y'all.
being
You got ghosted?
I think I got ghosted last week. I took somebody on a date about 2 weeks ago. And we was texting, then the text just got like dry. And then it was just like no replies. I just got ghosted.
You definitely got ghosted, Rilla. You got ghosted.
Yeah.
What's her number?
Call her right now.
Call her right now. You want to go get her?
Yeah, I got to send my goons. Y'all going to go get it for me?
Absolutely. Put a number.
Why
in
do
the
you
chat.
think she ghosted? See, this is.
Why do you think that?
And did you ask her what
Did you care?
say?
Honestly, did you care?
I didn't care because. Nah, I didn't care. I don't want to say why I didn't care, but I kind of was like, I knew it wasn't really somebody I really like was interested in.
Oh well,
anyway.
she felt that. This is what I'm.
And I don't want to hear that she felt
No,
that.
if you knew that-
because that energy didn't come until during the texts. Because at the dating part, I was feeling it, but it's like,
What were you feeling exactly? Were you feeling? Do you date to marry? Do you date to marry? Is that your intention in dating? Be honest, please.
yes,
That really is your intention in dating?
not in dating, but
It's
in
getting to know somebody.
someone.
Yeah.
But what is the point?
What is the point in not?
What is the point in
what is
not?
the point
what are
in
you
not?
doing otherwise? You just
Why are you playing? Why are you wasting
I don't
somebody's
think-
why
time?
are
I don't-
you? It's a waste of time. Like if you're not trying to get to know somebody with the intentions on building a life with them.
So were you trying
What
to
is-
build a life with this person? And if you're building a
It
life,
was only the
with,
first date. I was trying to figure that out. I don't know that on the first date. That's a date, not the dating.
Yeah,
it's a difference when you're
That's what I was saying
dating
earlier.
and when you
They're
go
two
on a
different
date.
tiers
You know what
of
I'm
dating,
saying?
right? It's going on dates to get to know people, and then you get to the point where if you find somebody that you feeling, it's a little more consistent.
this
right?
is hopscotch.
This is blowing Mary, because Mary says she don't date. She live in Mary's world. But this is what it is. It's not even calculated. No, it's not.
Sounds like a lot of entanglement.
And no, entanglement is a whole different thing. I want to know. Put our number in the chat, though, Ron.
I just like feeling the same energy I'm giving off. If I feel like I'm
100%.
giving you too much and you're not giving me the same, then it's like if your reply are dry, then my replies become dry. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Then it's to the point where I was like, I guess, he's dry. So I guess we're not gonna talk at all. But you started it. I'm only dry because of you. My energy feeds off.
So
of
is this
But
like you're reading tone through text? Like, do y'all talk on the phone? Because I think a part of this is people don't talk on the phone no
and
more.
that tone through text.
But you know what it is? No, another thing it is. I was talking to somebody who's talking to multiple people. And that's another reason why I don't do this. And somebody told me like I was wrong for feeling this way, but I don't like talking to people who feel like since we're not dating and since we're not in a committed relationship, I can talk to as many people as I want. Like, that's fine. I believe that you should be able to do whatever you want too, but it shows me something about your character.
Really?
What does it show about your character?
You want too much attention. You don't have enough going on for yourself. If you want
Is
to
that
be
a person is that a person that's dating or a person that's going on several dates?
and what, like with several different people?
You said that you don't want
If you're dating several different people at one time, there's an issue with me. That's an issue for me.
Dating, like our tier of dating with intention, or going on dates? Like you went on one date, right?
This is my problem. If there's no intention behind the date, you shouldn't be going in the first place. What is just dating and what's dating with intention?
If you went on one date, you're getting to know somebody, right?
But that's the intention.
Right. So you can't necessarily like penalize a person for having already, maybe she's in the pool, like she's trying to get to know somebody with her intentions of finding the guy that she wants to be with. So you can't necessarily be upset that she
So we wrote
hung
this
out
song
with a few
because
other
I
people,
said,
right?
I made this clear. I was not upset. I don't think there's nothing wrong with dating multiple people. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I just feel like it's something I'm not into.
Right.
And I feel like
That's fair.
those people who are into that,
That's fair.
in my opinion, it's
You think they lack self-love?
they lacking something. It's like
So these are people that's constantly going on dates, not folks that's dating.
you know what? So when we say dating and talking are like, we have to make what this dating is. We have to come up to a definition.
We didn't have this.
We have to have a conversation of what dating means. Because
Mikko earlier said dating is to date to build something and eventually get married.
I think that's the idea, though. I think the idea of dating somebody.
The dating process involves more than just going out.
It really does.
Y'all have to talk on the phone constantly.
And this is what I ask you. Like, so are you a texter? Like, do you... Like, because talking on the phone is important. Because you can't really, I mean, you can after a while, I guess. You said if it's dry on one end, then it's dry on the other end, then it's just dry. But how do you know that? Like, that tone through text thing is the most ridiculous thing on earth to me.
But to some extent, you can tell tone through text.
Have you picked up the phone and talked to this person?
I've talked to this person in person.
Okay. Since then?
Nah, not since then, but
Right.
during the whole process. We spoke in person a couple times.
Interesting. See, so this is what I was saying. Everybody has their own opinion on what dating is, right? There are different tiers to it, and it really, really is. There's the getting to know you game, and then there's the entire, like, okay, well, we're dating with intention. We're getting to know each other. We've gotten into a space. We've had conversations. I like it here. Your intentions are different at that point. Mary is over it. Let me tell you. Mary says she ain't dating nobody. Meanwhile, she over here trying to hook me up with somebody's cousin or something off the air. She want me to date, but she don't want to date.
The people that are into it, they should. I feel as if the people that are into this game might as well go ahead and do the game with good people.
But what's the game?
What's the
though?
game?
The game that y'all are over here playing.
I don't think it's a game.
Dating?
I think that too
Dating
many
is a
people
game?
look at it like
Yeah,
it's a
it
game, and
is.
that's where we're in this trouble.
Why is dating considered a game in your eyes?
Because it is like, are you guys listening to yourselves? It's a 1 + 1 = 2. It's a first we go here, then we go here, and if you do this, you have to talk.
That's
together.
math. That's
but it's
science and mathematics.
but
That's the way
what
the
I'm
world
saying.
works.
That's a lot. Like, that's too much.
So then what are we
But how do you-
supposed to
how do
do?
you
What
get
are
to-
we supposed
how
to
do
do
you
in
get
the
to-
Just
meantime?
chill.
How do you
And
get to
then
know?
what?
How
To
do
the
you,
next episode,
but listen,
yo.
how do you get to?
Chill.
How do you get to know somebody?
You just get to know them.
But how? But listen, when I'm saying how,
I don't know. Just get.
you talk to them. You have to talk to them, right?
You have to
Okay,
spend
so
time
what?
with
So
you.
where?
You
Do,
can
right.
speak,
So where do you do?
Don't put me in a circle and say that this is what I'm doing now that I want to get to know you. Like, I can meet 20 people a day just off the street because I think that they're interesting. Now I'm in a space. I automatically then pushed myself into a space, and now we got to do all this other extra stuff because we're in this space because the world is telling me that now
You don't
we're in a
have
space.
to do anything.
No, you don't.
But it should
it's
be
like-
organic if it's nothing else.
And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But how do you know that if you don't even involve yourself?
Right. If you're not talking to them or trying to go out, or if you're not going out or not doing anything, how do you know? How do you get to know?
Mary, if you don't love these hoes, just say that.
No, that's not. I get so. This is where I have to fade into the distance because this is where people start getting me messed up. I'm fading into the distance. I just think that you just do what is on your heart to do and don't censor yourself. And that doesn't mean sleeping. Like, this is where my whole world gets all misconstrued to everybody else. It's just like, just live. Just live. Have
Living is
fun.
good.
And I think that eventually you bump into who you're supposed to carry your life on with. Like, relationships are relationships, and you're constantly going to be in relationships with people. You're constantly going to be getting to know people in whatever arena that you're in. Now, you're talking about going to another level. If you find that you're hanging with somebody a little bit more than not, then okay, but it's like...
But that happens when you start hanging out. You
Yeah, when you find somebody that you have
can't get to that
connected
point
with,
where you finding out that you're hanging out with
if you
this
don't
person
actually
more
try
than
to
more.
connect, you just that's
well, you
not
can
the
connect,
way it works.
but to go into these things with the... I just think that a lot of stuff is pre-calculated with people.
It's not. If I'm spreading my energy
Yeah.
all over the place, right? What does that leave for a person that I'm really trying to connect with? Like, what is the purpose of spreading my energy to all of these different places
What is
when my
spreading your
focus
energy?
is actually
What
right
does that-
here?
what does that even
You're
mean to
saying you
spread
can
your
connect
energy?
with this many people, and then boom, you run into this
How
person.
many
and
people
it's
do
cool.
you know?
A lot.
Okay, so your energy
How many
is
people
spread
do I
with-
talk to every day?
Not that
Not
many.
a lot.
And because
And that's
you don't
the point
want to.
But that's the point I'm making. I choose when I'm in that space to not to focus my energy
In what
as
space?
a person in the I like this person, I want to get to know them, I can see myself building with this person's space, I choose to focus my energy.
So you just give them more energy.
Or I give them the energy that I feel like, we give each other. It's just it's not as hard as you think.
It seems like
hard at all.
So Mary, you've never had a situation where you've like someone?
They do all right. Yeah, maybe not. No.
Where you've like genuinely had someone like what you want to, that you find attractive mentally and physically and would like to spend more time with? You've never met someone like that?
Sure.
That you're just like, you know what? I just want to be here. This is nice. This is good. And I enjoy it here, so I want to kind of just be here. That's all it is. It's the same thing.
And if you decide to do that more and more without putting a title on it, because
then you
the dating
with a
thing,
person.
that's just the title is kind of what's throwing.
Yeah, I think that for
you're
technical
still dating
terms, because we're talking about it, we're
Right.
saying dating.
I don't think that's dating though.
That literally is dating,
That's
Mary.
literally dating.
What? What do you think it is?
Your face.
You don't-
What?
she just don't want to use these words.
I told Mary, if you don't know these hoes, just say that. That's literally dating.
Next up. Next up.
Listen,
So next up, it's time to go.
it's time to go. Listen, we got it out. You got it out? You know you done dated before, right?
Never. Never.
Yes, you have. We're going to wrap it up just for you, Mary, because Mary is like, she is over it. Listen, I want to thank you guys for joining me in our counseling session today with Ron Rilla and Mary Q. This has been Middays with Mikko. We will talk to you guys next time. Who's up next, Mary?
We
The green side.
have the green side of things
With
up
Sadiq
next.
and
Yes.
Cass.
Yes.
My girl Cass. We go way, way back. All right, you
Come on
guys
for the way
enjoy. You said what?
I said, come on for the way back.
We go way back, like grade school, way back. But you guys enjoy Sadiq and Cass. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for the awesome, awesome time. And Mary, you've dated. That's it. We'll see you guys next time.
WIFTBPN